On my way in, I ran straight into the office and said, "There's a huge fire on one of the towers, on one of the Wall Street towers." Anyway, we got here, everyone started looking downtown. We went into the trade office. Then that's when we saw the second plane go into the second tower. And all broke loose from there.
So I actually saw the second plane came in, which was, it's a moment that when I think about it now, it still makes me very emotional, possibly more anger now or subdued anger than there was there at that time. But we knew at that time that it was not an accident. This was something serious.
From the number of people that were killed in the fall of both towers to the smoke that just permeated the whole of Manhattan, you could smell it wherever you were, at least for the first 2 weeks afterwards. And the scale of loss of life was horrendous. And to think that, something like this could actually happen was just way too much to take in.
And the receptionist wasn't on the reception because a relative of hers was in the tower. And so she'd gone into complete meltdown mode and wasn't at the front desk. So then when I came into the office, Ken said, "You need to come up to my office now. We need to have a meeting. Something's happened. We need to start working out a plan."
There were those Australians that had bookings in hotels downtown. They were evacuated from their hotels, and we had to find places for them to stay for the length of time they're in New York or when planes could fly out of New York. Some of those visitors were billeted by A-base officers in their apartments, and when it got too big, the monastrum became a place for them to stay overnight, bunk for a week or so.
The consulate was really a war zone in many, many ways. And Jill and I, as time went by and we were let further into the area, we had to do some very personal things for the people that had been affected by September 11 in a very direct sort of way, as the police and others asked us to do certain things so that we could identify certain people.
And the consular team was a separate team that was just looking after the Australian citizens that came in, looking after, if they had to get emergency loans or emergency passports because they'd had to flee wherever they were. Trying to reach out to Australians who were on the missing person list, try and find them, and then take them off that list.
And my heart goes out to those that were lost in the, Australians as well as others that were lost on that day. But the families that come over from Australia for the anniversaries, it's just very painful. It doesn't get any easier, even though it's a number of years down the road.
The Australian families who lost members of their family on 9/11, my sincerest condolences. This has been an awful ordeal for you to have to go through. But your bravery will always be remembered, and they will not be forgotten.
The one very sustaining thought that I have, Nicholas, is the way that people came together at all levels in New York. The families of the people that died on that day, they were just amazing Australians, every single one of them. And in tragedy, great strength comes from it.